Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back after a bit of a hiatus. We're ready to play some of our Patreon campaign, The Rise. As always, if you guys want to be a part, if you want to help this channel, the best way to do that, support us, is down in the Patreon link down below. Join us at the $5 tier, get access to all of our exclusive after shows, where we talk about our characters' feelings, players' thoughts, etc. And if you join us at the $10 tier, we are randomly doing prep streams of our current campaigns of games with a new GM, Ask a GM sort of talk show thing coming next year. So check that out at the $10 tier. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I do horrible, terrible things to the players unless they do it to themselves first. And two, every single dollar that goes back into that bar goes back to this channel for all kinds of cool things like art and music and hiring someone to do my job better, like putting everyone in the right spots, because despite the fact that we chatted for 10 minutes, I didn't actually do any of that, because I'm the worst. No one sees anything. Da 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 da! You saw nothing. That being said, previously on The Rise, the words from a secret spell used by the Guild of Sleep poured out of Mina's mouth, transporting not only himself, but his unwitting companions to the land of Nod. The Dreamlands were fraught with perils and nightmares that separated the godlings from each other, though once overcome they reunited at the foot of the king's castle. The king of Nod welcomed the godlings to his domain, offered food, drink, and information, the allure of which was too great for Korax, who found himself lost in the greatest library the Afterworld had ever known. Mina and Terry's, Seydlitz, you stand aghast before the King of Nod, as to your left, a glass cabinet has just appeared, containing the body of Korax. The King of Nod smiles and looks over at that, and he mutters, "Well, that was far sooner than I expected." He looks at all of you and just sort of has a cheeky grin and walks over to the glass case, and he pokes at it as a child at an aquarium. It doesn't move. There's no reaction to this thing. You see that the Korax inside, the Korax exhibit, rather, seems to be posed in an unnaturally un-Korax pose. It seems to be musing ephemerally as its hands are out there. Rather ostentatious. You've never seen him do this motion before, but there he is. A small book levitates in front of him. And as you see the king turn this case, you see that there are there's writings like etched into the glass itself that sort of reflect and have that like opalescent kind of quality in the light. He looks at it again, and he is inspecting, and you can see he like checks the seam on the casework. He like taps the wooden base with his foot. Well made, well made. If I do say so myself, I've done some great work here. Oh, I'm sorry. You were all asking me questions about, I believe, your mother, and I'll be honest. I tuned some of it out. I apologize. I was preoccupied. What
have you done? She's going to interrupt. She interrupts him.
I'm sorry?
What have you done? And she's going to rush to the cabinet.
As in today?
She points. What have you done to our friend?
Oh, I've done nothing. He's died.
What?
Yeah, it happens to everyone eventually.
He just walked away 2 minutes ago. How is he dead? Well, I thought you said we were safe here.
I'm not omnipresent.
And her arm goes...
I was standing in front of you. How would I know how he died?
Open this up.
This is your kingdom, isn't it? Surely you have some level of knowledge of what could have happened to him.
Oh, yes. Well, he could have been gobbled up by a nightmare. He could have been stung to death by dream wasps. He could have run afoul of one of my giants who sat on him to death. He could have... any number of things could have killed him. The Dreamlands aren't a friendly place. despite the whimsical name.
Well, if you had to guess, then what do you think actually? Does the cabinet say what did him in?
Here lies Korax.
Yeah. He
It's the dream world after all.
Yeah, he reaches down and you see him pull a small index card out of like where the glass essentially meets the wooden platform, and he pulls out this index card and he says, "Oh, it appears he died in the library," and he shows it to you, Antares. It says it says "lost to the library."
Does the cabinet look like it's sealed, like hermetically sealed? Like,
yes.
Is there a lock?
There is no opening mechanism.
Okay. She's gonna pull out her sword and go to smash the glass.
Okay. Yeah. You go ahead and give me a might roll.
Give me a death save.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna give you a DC, so just put DC 0. I just want to see what number you roll here.
Just saying that ones don't go well in Nod.
Especially in the library.
Especially with Korax's body behind glass.
Can I stop her?
You can.
Well,
what you can do is roll me either a speed or a might roll. Seydlitz. Difficulty 4.
I didn't put a difficulty, but it puts difficulty. Oh, okay.
It automatically does.
Yeah. Oh, I beat you.
Barely.
You quickly dart out there to stop her from smashing this glass case. However, she is just too fast. She's just outside of your grasp as the blade comes
Seydlitz
out.
has to stand up from the fact he was sitting down.
Yeah, because he was lounging before reading a book in the corner. Ironically to the person in the case. Yeah, so you like leap out of your seat and you go to grab her arm, but she's just too quick, and her blade, bing, smashes off this. Antares, Seydlitz, and Mina, you all see that where the blade contacts the glass case, it reverberates like a sound wave. And it like moves out like a circle and then hits the other sides, and then it seems to reverberate around that thing, as if some sort of percussion, it spread the damage across this thing, and you just ting off the side of this glass. The king kind of takes a step back and looks at you in amusement. Oh, that's rather aggressive. What was your plan? Did you hope that would shatter?
And she kind of just ignores him, and she's just going to be staring at him.
No, I'm curious. I feel like maybe it's my fault. Maybe I misspoke. Are you under the assumption here that if you break him out of this case, he will somehow be back to life? I'm sorry. Quiet, nice one. I said he was dead, right?
Yeah, you did.
Well, how do we fix him?
Well,
We can't let the god of knowledge die.
Well, I feel for you very much, but this is a corpse.
But if the god of knowledge dies, doesn't knowledge die?
Well, no, the god of knowledge died about 40 years ago, and you still know things.
But I feel like maybe I'm getting dumber.
Like a fox.
That doesn't make... that makes more than one of us, I assure you. I assure you, and seems like it's been a month since I last spoke with you. Miss, please put your blade away. I assure you, should you even break him out of the museum encasement, he is still just a corpse. He will just begin.
You knew this was gonna happen. She turns on the king. You knew that this would happen.
I knew
Didn't
that
you?
he would die in the library. Is that what you were asking me?
Yes.
How would I know that?
Sorry, King, library, it's this way, right?
It is.
How does one
Alright.
die in the library?
I don't
Come
know.
on, Antares, let's go find out, shall we?
I've never died in the library. I
Taylor
knew.
starts walking towards that library.
Okay, you start walking up. I knew that when he died, he made a deal with me that I could have his body.
And then 5 minutes later, there he is.
It was about 15, but I didn't kill him. I was here the entire time. In fact, and he like claps his hands. Seydlitz, as you're walking in the direction that you saw Korax go, you see a shadow walking out of the library. And the shadow quickly takes form as you see a arguably a man in like a fine dress with like a long robe, like an opened robe, not a bathrobe, not to be confused. But what stands out most is the fact that atop his head is the head of a large, appropriately sized, green buffalo head on this man, as he like sort of shakes his head and he slowly walks out. He sees you, Seydlitz, and just sort of nods his shaggy mane at you, and he walks past, and you see that tucked in his hand, held by his side, is a red leather book. And he walks over and he says, "My king, you have called." And the king reaches out and he says, "Oh, is this a new edition? First edition?" And he sort of like smiles cheekily. He says, "Yes."
She glares at him.
This is the latest addition to the library, a first edition, some import, I would assume. And he hands the book to the king, and you see Mina and Antares, if you're still there, you see this is a red leather book, a normal book size, and the only thing on it is a golden symbol that you are 100% certain is Korax's nimbus. And he opens the book, he sort of thumbs through it, and you can see that like there's that gold embossment on the outside of the pages, and he sort of thumbs through. I do love new book smell. And he like licks a finger and starts swiping several pages. I can hear
Don't
Chris
lick-
dying right now.
Don't do that to books.
Yeah, he like licks his finger, swipes a few pages, licks his finger again. He says, "Oh, I see. Here it is. So here, this is the story of your friend. He had gone into the library and he sought forbidden knowledge. In his attempt to locate it, his mind was fractured and lost to the library, and what was left of his mind was bowed into this book."
Has that happened to many people in the past?
Oh, so many.
Sounds fucking appropriate. And she's gonna walk over and she's gonna hold her hand out for the book.
Oh, here you go. You may take a look at it.
And she'll take it probably a little more aggressive than she probably would have normally done. And she's gonna
Is
flip
his
through
other
it.
books that he had on him still in the library, like on the floor or something?
What
Yeah,
other
where are
books?
his belongings?
I would assume in here. And he points to the glass case.
Well, generally I don't like to tell people about this, but you might want to pull some of his belongings out of there. I believe one of his books was the Book of Fate.
Oh, I already have a copy of that. But
Do you mind if we
interesting.
have it back?
Ooh, well, you see, your friend and I had a deal. I sniffed out that he was a new god incarnate, and I decided
Your
that it would
deal,
be-
from what I overheard, is you could have him. You didn't specify his items.
You're correct. However, it didn't not specify his items, so there's a little bit of a gray area there. And currently, I am in possession of him and his items. So, if you want them back, It's up to me.
Can we get Korax back alive?
I doubt that.
Well, there's a bit of complication there. I could give you his book, which contains his mind, and I could give you his body back, which contains his physical form. However, he would be a soulless husk.
Was that any different? She grumbles under her breath.
It's
So
really
he'd
improved.
be like one of crap, I forget what they're called. One of the undead people from
From
Hey Trace,
Soul
what was that city?
Rest.
Solrest? No, that's not Solrest.
Sorry,
The one with the zombie
Christchurch.
Christchurch.
Christchurch. Yeah.
Oh no. Those people undergo a spell of transformation that makes them necromorphized. I don't know what they call it. I believe they still have a soul. They're just untethered from morality and unable to die.
As she's holding this book, she's pacing back and forth now. When her back is to everybody, she stops and holds the book and closes her eyes, and she's gonna say a prayer to Korax.
Oh, interesting. What does the prayer say?
Nothing fancy. She's just gonna close her eyes and be like, Korax, God of knowledge. And she's does she have to say it out loud? I don't know.
You don't have to say it out loud.
Okay, so she's saying it in her mind. Korax, God of knowledge, can you hear me? Grant me your wisdom.
Oh, I love that.
She tries not to roll her eyes.
That's such a good segue. So the words of Korax, God of knowledge, can you hear me? Grant me your wisdom. A light on the wings of dreams. And the camera turns and travels away. Outside of the terrains of Nod, the phantasmagorical terrains, the nightmare lands, the ever-shifting jungles and sands. And we descend, or ascend, depending on how you look at it, which angle you're coming from, perhaps, into a shifting space. The aether is hues of orange and purples and reds and pinks just roiling across the sky. We enter into a new realm. A realm of ice and shadow and bone. A realm that looks like the dark city of Corso. A shadow of the shadowed city, lit by flaming blue braziers, bone pillars, ice stalactites, stalagmites hang from all over the place. And there in the center of this city is this massive bone and ice citadel. The streets are patrolled by thousands of skeletal guards, zombies in ancient ceremonial armor, and the restless souls of the undead. And as the camera sweeps down the main street of this dark Corso and into the Bone Citadel, we see the most ostentatious throne you could imagine, made up of like ice blasts up in each corner, a smooth staircase of ice inlaid with bone. These blue and green braziers light every few steps, casting this place in an eerie glow. And you see, draped across a 10-foot high backed throne, blankets and pillows and poofs lay all around, and sort of with one leg draped over one arm, body waifishly across the other one, long hair flows down to the ground itself in a dress that sprawls out like a bridal veil. A queen sits amused as she looks at a young man bound by chains around the neck, forced to the ground on his knees, with shock red hair And she shifts in her chair and says, "Welcome, God of Knowledge. It is interesting you chose to join me. It took a great deal of effort to bring your soul here. What do you have to say for yourself?"
I mean, it wasn't exactly choice.
Well, death usually isn't.
True, but I'm here. Why would you specifically bring me here? Yeah.
Rumor has it, my funny little bookish friend, that you have been looking for me. Or, I wouldn't quite say praying to me. But you have shown interest in me. And when the living show interest in me, I show interest in them.
You spoken to me?
Oh, you've spoken to me. Perhaps an introduction is necessary. I'm the Rakshasa Queen. And the ruler, more or less, of Soul Rest.
I mean, as a queen, I mean, I would bow, but I'm already halfway there. He
Oh.
just nods his head.
I feel like knees is a better place to be for someone like you. It's not every day that the God of Knowledge graces my floor.
I mean, a pillow would have been nice on my knees.
You're young enough.
Protect them. You only have one set.
Well, fortunately, you don't have a physical body.
I mean, that's inconvenient.
Well, you died. And
Well, yeah.
you made a deal to remove your physical body. That's your own fault.
Well, I didn't quite expect to be dying this soon.
No
I
one
didn't
does.
think I'd really need it when I made a deal with the moon guy.
Yes, this, the King of Nod.
Bit of a tool.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Now, why were you sending me souls? And why were you looking for me?
Oh, I mean, I sent him because he was an ass. He deserved whatever he got when he got you. I was kind of hoping, and he looks around. Is the Helmore visible?
Is the what visible?
The Helmore.
You notice that he is not, the Helmwall, whatever it is not visible at all. In fact, though you have little recollection of seeing much of anything in Soul Rest, you do not recall seeing that creature whatsoever.
He just looks around and says, I heard the Helmore was eating everything. So I kind of hoped that sending that guy here, he would just get what was due to him.
Well, he is now an unending servant in my army.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. It's not every day
Because-
that souls are hand-delivered to me.
I mean, I did my best.
You have done your best, and that is why I sought you out. Someone as friendly as yourself, and as knowledgeable as yourself. For you to die and just roam Soul Rest seemed like a waste.
I agree.
I figured we could help each other.
The last deal I made went well.
Here's what I imagine. I imagine someone in their godly prime, such as yourself, is at just the beginning of his journey. And being dead sounds like just the worst of days.
It is.
And nothing about you seems powerful enough to bring yourself back to life. No offense.
No. I haven't found the book for that yet.
Well. And as I control and influence all the souls in my domain, that means I control yours. And what I do with it is up to me. Now, I could make you a relentless soul in my army. I could feed you to the Hellmaw. I could trade you to one of the other Lords of Soul Rest for something useful. Or, if I'm feeling generous, I could return your soul to the Afterworld.
I mean, trading me would be bad for you? Like, you would just be losing such a great asset.
But what I stand to gain could be quite substantial. I do have enemies here in Soul Rest.
Don't we all?
That's true. But bringing you back to the Afterworld, that's a favor to you, and would need due recompense.
I mean, I can write a book about you,
Oh, I don't need that.
but you want that.
I don't want that either.
Oh.
I don't need or want any sort of liturgical endeavors. I'll tell you what I need. You, because I've been watching you, have some sort of access to several things I want.
Hmm.
I've been watching you since the Child of Spring. And most importantly,
Who's that?
the child. The Child
Oh,
of
the
Spring.
little one.
Yes, you fought off my...
Wasn't that? Oh,
Wasn't that who?
I thought that was King Tool
Eh,
and his people.
It was both of us. And not together. I sensed a new god being born. I sensed a powerful presence of spring. And I need the presence of powerful beings
Like me.
like you. And you seem to have drawn the attention of the King of Dreams.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
And I think he's a god.
Okay.
One from before the fall.
Right.
And I want him dead.
I mean, if you've been following me, I'm not so good at the killing.
But your friends are. And I'm sure that if I restore your soul, the first thing you'll do is run off and find your little friends and tell them how exciting it was to meet the Rakshasa Queen.
I mean, probably.
And they'll say, "How did you escape?" And you'll make up some flamboyant story and eventually tell them that you must kill the King of Dreams.
But I need a good reason for that.
Ah, yes. I believe, with some degree of certainty, that he is a god. And somewhere on Nod, he has hidden godly powers. And with him dead, the powers must go somewhere. I'll take some of them. You and your friends can take some more. And together, we can return Nod to the Aether.
That's a good reason
Isn't it?
for me. And you.
It's a win-win all
But,
around.
Yeah, but Mina's like friends with the King of Nod.
Hmm.
He's going to be hard to convince.
That does sound like more of a you problem than a me problem. I will
Definitely.
add, as a small caveat, just to cross T's and dot I's, as I know you like to do, at any time until our deal is concluded, I can return your soul back to where it currently belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Call it
That's
insurance.
also inconvenient.
Yes.
Now, what is the time frame on this deal?
Well,
Because I mean, I could get really old and die before I'm able to kill the King of Nod. Well, sorry, before I'm able to convince enough people to kill the King of Nod.
Let's say this. If ever I feel like you're not working towards this goal, I will repossess your soul. If ever I get the sense that you are working against this goal, I will repossess your soul. And if I feel like you just haven't made progress in any meaningful length of time, I will repossess your soul.
More inconvenience. See, I do have a lot of stuff on my plate.
Right. There's a war,
So-
right?
Yeah, can I finish that war? And I might be able to also help you out. See, look at me just doing you favors.
Well,
I
please do
could
tell.
Potentially convince some people to send you more people as well to sort of give me some more time. You know, hey, Soul Rest isn't so bad anymore. Send
Well-
people to Soul Rest. You know, see?
I will say, inevitably, all souls come here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of where they go.
Yeah.
There are unfortunately several Lords of Soul Rest currently, and the Hellmaw, who is just wantonly eating whatever it gets into its vicinity. But if you send them to me, I have a far easier time of collecting them. And thus it does offer them a monicum of safety.
Yep. And from what I can see, you're doing a great job here.
I am. Thank
This is
you.
the best part of Soul Rest that I've seen.
That is unfortunately a fact. She looks to you and says, "This is acceptable terms. Finish your war. In doing so, send me new troops for my army. And when the war is complete, you will kill the King of Nod.
Try.
Or your soul will be repossessed."
Well, I'll probably be dead, so
Well,
if we fail to kill the King of Nod, we'll probably be dead.
either way, your soul will be repossessed. However, if it makes you feel better, if you all die together, I will do my best to collect all of your friends' souls as well.
That would be helpful.
I thought so.
And next time, can I not be chained to the floor?
Yes, well,
I'm
I
a
didn't
god,
want you to
after all.
try anything. You are,
Try
as you
what?
said, a god after all.
Like what? I'm gonna fight you?
I don't know.
I don't do that. You followed me enough to know that?
Well, I know that you don't fight in the traditional means, but I've never had a god in my domain.
Aren't you lucky?
Yes,
Today's a great day for both of us.
it truly is.
I get to go home, and you get to meet me.
You see her like reach over the other side of her throne, and she pulls up just like a part of what must be a dress, and with like one finger you see the nail extend, and she just sort of slices a piece of the dress off, and it sort of furls back together. She unfurls it, and you see her begin to scratch things into the dress. And as she's doing so, it begins to form into like a paper, like a papyrus kind of thing, as she's writing this down. And she turns it over to you and holds out a contract outlining in various subsections and articles all of the things you discussed and all of the ways that your soul will be repossessed if you fail in your charge. And you see that she has signed at the bottom, and there is a signature spot for you.
Korax looks up to her and goes, I'm still currently chained to a floor.
Your neck is chained. Do you have access to your arms?
Korax is one of those people who's going to read the contract.
Yeah.
So he reads all the words.
Yeah.
And then he looks to her just before he signs and says, how do I contact you again? Like, normally? Do I have to go back to that same boring place?
She smiles, this like devious, sinister smile. And she says, just pray. I'll hear it.
Yeah, gods don't. We don't. See, I'm a god now. I don't pray to other gods. What shouldn't be? And he signs the paper.
As soon as you put your finger out, it's as if you like got hit by a thorn or something, like a prick, and it's like, and you see this like greenish blue blood sign across this line, and the chains fall slack, and we cut back to the land of Nod. Antares, Mina, Seydlitz, you are all gathered around in some various capacities. The king, the Korax exhibit, and Antares, you have just prayed to the god of knowledge for his guidance.
Seydlitz at some point has acquired the Korax book, and he's just kind of
I'm holding the
through
book
it.
in my hand when she prays.
Antares has it as she's praying.
Dang it.
No, I'm not standing
always
near
for a
you.
time
My
skip.
back is to you.
Yeah. She's away from the group slightly. Antares, you pray to this book. Do you have it open or closed?
It's closed.
Okay. You say, God of knowledge, can you hear me? Give me your guidance or whatever
Your
it was.
wisdom.
Your wisdom, right. The book, you feel the book like as if someone's trying to open it in your hands. And if you like open your hand, if you like unclench your hand, the book opens and begins to flutter pages. And you see that the book is not complete. It's not like the death of Korax does not end at the end of the book. It ends somewhere in the beginning, like the first third of the book. It flutters open, and you see slowly words are being penned in. This happens over the course of several minutes. You notice the words being written in. If you stand there and read them, it will be several minutes worth of writing, and someone's going to notice you going like this. What do? Do you stand there and read them?
Well, she's not a child. She's not gonna like turn her hand. She can move her eyes.
Yes.
So yeah. So she is gonna read it. She'll probably like wait until like she's gonna watch the words. Like so she's kind of like just holding the book in her hands and then she's just looking down. And yeah, she will read it when it's And if anyone addresses her, she'll ignore them.
Yeah, you notice that the writings are written from some sort of omniscient third person. And it starts like this new chapter starts with, and thus the god of knowledge was lain bare before the Rakshasa queen. And it continues to basically narrate what just happened to Korax.
Question: have I seen Korax's writing before, like handwriting?
Yeah, because he showed you the book. He showed you the book of fate that he wrote in. It's so not his handwriting.
It's not okay. And is the new narration in the same handwriting?
Correct. Yep, everything is in the same handwriting.
Okay, just curious. So yeah, so she will read as it comes out.
Yeah. So you basically read what just happened to Korax in not quite real time, but slight delay. While Antares is reading for several minutes, Mina and Seydlitz, the king is still just musing about, looking at his new toy, essentially. What are the two of you doing?
Mina just looks over at the librarian and says, does everyone have a book like that in your library?
No. Well, no. The book contains every book ever written or ever dreamed about being written or thought of in a dream. It's a little complicated. So, yes, and also no. And sometimes the books exist, and sometimes the books do not exist. However, if you are too absorbed in your research and your mind shatters inside the library, what is left of your mind is collected inside the pages of a great tome and added to the shelves of the library, such as what happened to your friend here.
How many people has that happened to?
Oh, I've lost count over the years.
Do you think you could give me is it 2 figures, 3 figures, 4 figures?
Oh, thousands.
Well, at least you know he's not the only one. Any interesting ones?
Oh, it depends on what your definition of interesting is. You may go look for yourself.
I'm not so sure because I'm not nowhere near as smart as he was. I'd probably end up in the same way.
Mina heads over to the king and says, is there any way we can get him back? Like, we're in a dreamland, so is he really dead? Or is he dreaming he's dead? Can we make him not dead?
You're not dreaming. I thought I mentioned that before. You're here. You transported your physical bodies here to my realm, and if you die here, you die here.
But we die here, but do we die in the afterworld as well?
I'm not sure if I'm making sense here.
Mina,
your bodies
Mina.
are here. There is no body for you in the afterworld. You're here.
Mina,
So-
you have physically teleported us here.
Yes.
We
correct.
are not there
Correct.
anymore.
Yes,
we
there's-
are here.
There is
This
no body to die.
where we are.
Oh,
Yes.
how do we get back to there then?
You run away. You travel through one of the 5 gates of dreams. You ask me very nicely.
Given our state of grief, would you be inclined to send us back?
Sure.
Well, that was easy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Your friend is still a corpse and is still part of my museum, though.
Well, if there's nothing we can do to get him back, then there's no real point to gruff about it.
Could you bring him back? Are you that powerful?
Well, I can give you his corpse, and I can put his mind back in his corpse. And then what you do with it from there is your own. However, I don't do anything for free. It wouldn't be very kingly of me. What do you have to offer? I would be giving you one of my prized museum attractions, as well as a very interesting, by the amount of time she's reading it, tome about the god of knowledge.
Maybe.
Well, I guess the thing is, I don't think we could figure anything out what to offer. The better question is just, what would you accept?
Yes. What would I accept?
It's like, do you want divinity? Is like, could I trade my divinity for him?
No, thank you. I have quite a lot on my plate.
You'd like to collect things. Seydlitz is planning to go to the depths. We could bring you something back from there.
Interesting.
That's if we even come back.
There's a
Well,
lot of ifs.
That solves a lot of problems if we don't come back. But if we do, I'm sure we could find something for you in there.
Yes. Yes.
Seydlitz thinks about it and takes that white cap book he got from Veshaden, and he never actually finished reading it. He's gonna open it up and try to read the rest of it.
Okay. Yeah, you can sort of so currently Antares and Seydlitz are kind of separated from the group, both secretly reading a book as fast as they can.
No,
Yeah.
Seydlitz isn't secretly. He's just kind of out in the open. He's like, I'm gonna finish this real
the
quick.
god of knowledge dies and everyone takes up reading.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's a scholastic book fair.
I couldn't read it. Now I can read.
Yeah. He looks to you, Mina, who seems to be the mouthpiece of the non-book nerds, and he says, "Well, you mentioned collections. I would happily part with my newest attraction and the book, and perhaps an article of treasure from my vaults at my choosing, if you would bring me the Child of Spring."
That is not on offer.
Great. Well, then
everybody wants the Child of Spring anyway.
Would you be inclined to bring me either, I will let you choose, the head of the dragon Nalemriel or the head of the Rakshasa Queen?
I honestly don't think we're capable of either of those things.
With your aid, I think we would happily bring you the head of the dragon.
Well, listen, I am aiding you by returning your friend to Half-Life.
I mean, the depths has a lot of treasures. I'm sure there's something that you're looking for.
You see, the depths has so many treasures. The thing is about the depths is that I have many of those treasures as well, and people who have seen those treasures. And here's a thing. I'll let you in on a secret here because I am that kind of guy. I have a vault hidden here in Nod that contains all of the treasures that have been lost or forgotten for all time. So, if someone had once found something in the depths or acknowledged its existence in the depths and has no longer been able to find it, I have it. So what happens when you find it is that it leaves my vault and is now found, which is ultimately inconvenient for me.
Then we can return it to you and it will be yours and there'll be no chance that someone will find it and take it from you.
That's true, but that's called a net zero. I didn't actually gain anything. That's like stealing something.
Security of something not being found at a later date.
So you're offering me something intangible for something tangible. I really like the tangibility of the Child of Spring, the head of the dragon, or the head of the Rakshasa Queen. I feel like those are this is, after all, not just a friend of yours. It is also the first god ascended in the Afterworld since the fall. And a god. It's a pretty lofty order, I think. And you're not only getting his body back, but his mind as well. It's a pretty tall order.
I mean, his mind was the best part of him. His body.
Unfortunately, you need a place to put it.
Okay. I probably would need to check with my companions before agreeing to something like that.
By all means, by all means. And he looks to this big green buffalo-headed librarian and says, "Oh, you're dismissed. Return." And sort of shuffles his buffalo shoulders and heads back into the library.
And Mina heads over
before the librarian rollings off. Seydlitz says, "Excuse me, sir. Is there a way you make copies of books while we're here?"
What kind of copy of a book do you need?
It's just like a duplicate.
Like you need to have 2 copies of the book?
Well, I was just wondering. It's you could duplicate this one if you want and have it in your library if you just feel interested. Just offering in case someone else wants that knowledge.
What you can do is dream about it in great detail. and it will appear in my
I'm
mind.
physically here. I don't think that'll work.
Well, when you return, dream about it, and it will appear amongst the shelves.
All right, thank you. It's just interesting.
You're welcome. He shuffles off.
Mina heads over to Antares and Seydlitz. We can get Korax back, his body and his mind, if we bring either the head of Nalumriel or the Rakshasa Queen to the
Honestly, Mina, you think about it. If we get his body, his mind, he's a soulless husk. Basically, be nothing better than we to ask him something, and he may spit it out and blurt it out with no context or any finesse at all. Basically, he'd just be a walking, talking. He'd be no better than a pet.
Well, we can't just really
Even
leave
the
him
people, even the undead at Christchurch would be better off than him if we did that.
Okay. I don't feel right about leaving him here. We're taking the king at his word that he's dead.
He's not dead, she says very quietly.
What do you mean?
She as their conversation was going between the king and Mina, and she was like subtly reading it as it keeps going. That's when her head starts reading it.
Is this something that we should tell Mina to go away for?
What?
Mina,
you are terrible at keeping secrets.
I'm not terrible at keeping secrets.
You
don't know that. I've got plenty of secrets you've never heard of.
Mina, shut up. And she lowers the book and she points to this dialogued conversation that's being transcribed into the book. Korax is in front of the Rakshasa Queen right now.
Well, perfect. If he can get her head, we can get his body.
I don't think that's how that's going to work.
Not.
I will clarify. He is very much dead.
Okay, you're true.
Yeah, he is 100% actually a corpse. His soul is in front of the Rakshasa Queen. Yeah.
She'll say that then. His soul is there, and he's currently making a deal with her for his life.
Okay, so then he will need his body and his mind.
Does it explain what the deal is?
Where is the King of Nod currently?
Musing about his museum.
Okay. She's not going to say it out loud, but she's going to point to the words on the page where it says, win your war and then kill the King of Nod. She points to those words.
Perfect. So what we do is, this might be a bit of a stretch, but hear me out here. Hear me out here, you two. We make the deal with the king about getting him the head of the dragon, or we could get the head. Actually, no, that wouldn't work first. We could get him the head of the dragon, and then while we're doing that, we, him, and then everything works out. Well, me except the Rakshasa Queen, but
you can see Mina's lips are pressed very tightly together, and there's a lot of restraint.
And she is giving him like if you so much as open your mouth.
I mean, what is it? The King of Nod wants the head of your mother, or the head of the Rakshasa Queen, or the Child of Spring. Obviously, we can't give him the child.
No.
So, and honestly, I don't even want to go near Soul Rest. And if he's making a deal with her, I don't think we can do that anymore. So we may have to kill. I think our only option is to kill your mother and Terry's.
She just scoffs.
And every option is terrible.
I mean, doesn't
Well-
just killing the king solve both problems? We don't owe him anything if he's dead.
Do you really think we're strong enough to do that?
No.
If we're not giving them a Rua.
No, of course not. Michael, can it be discerned from? Sorry,
Am I in trouble? Jesus.
sorry.
What you?
The full
You-
name.
Whoa, you
Wow.
guys fucked up here, not me. Like, don't yell at me. Jesus.
No, I'm not yelling. Can it be discerned? Because I'm G is confused a little bit. How is she going to restore Korax? Like, can I roll something to tell, like, do we actually need to leave here with his body, or is she gonna ploop him out of that case? Like, can we figure out how this is gonna actually happen?
Yeah. Roll me an intelligence, difficulty 4.
Okay. Do. Come on. Yes. Take that,
Nice.
God of knowledge.
Yeah,
That
so
was thanks to the prayer. That's why you.
that's what it was.
Oh, I
Um,
should have given myself an asset.
So the Rakshasa Queen had said simply that she will return his soul to the Afterworld. If a soul has nowhere to go, it just roams as a ghost or an apparition or something.
Okay. Okay.
So if Korax's soul has no body to return to, it returns as it is.
So we could put him into anybody we want.
So I will say, with that success and your upbringing, technically, kind of. In Crysearch, the reanimation process, it removes the soul from the person through like necromorphizing, and then binds it to something, and then binds that something to the person. So their soul and body are still together, just not connected. Which stops the dying process. It makes them all weird and
yeah.
horny for life.
Okay. So and Terry's can deduce that we need to leave here with his body. And she points back up to where she was explaining returning his soul to the Afterworld. His soul needs somewhere to go.
So we need to accept his deal. We need to promise to bring him the head of Nalumbriel or the Rakshasa Queen.
It can't be the Rakshasa Queen, otherwise
It has to be.
she
the
points,
Unreal.
she's gonna call back his call in his whatever,
I feel like it's a pretty mute point, given that we probably can't do either of those things.
Honestly, when it comes to things, I think the one that we need to hunt is the dragon anyway, because she's the one who's caused us the most problems.
If Antares is okay with that, I guess.
I'll be honest, the King of Nod is just a collector. He's honestly not that evil of a guy. But if that's Korax's deal, then we may have to go along with it.
I'm gonna suggest that I'm not the one to tell him we accept his deal.
I'll do it.
The daughter is promising the mother. Irony. Honestly, it's kind of nice here. I wish I could stay a bit longer.
I want to get out of here. And she will close the book, tuck it under her arm, and she will turn and head towards wherever the king is.
Yeah, he's like a good 20 feet away, just fucking off. He's sort of talking to himself and like looking at the museum pieces and like the like strange animals. You see that there is a large enclosement, like when you go to like a museum, there's that part that like goes into the wall, and you can see like lions and tigers and shit. He's at one of those, and there is a massive like ebony black elephant with 4 tusks and wings, and he's sort of just talking to it. It is absolutely not moving or responding to him in any kind of way. But it is there. He turns and says, "Oh, yes, angry one."
You will give us the book, and she thumbs the top of the red book, and the body of our friend. If we bring you and then we will bring you the head of Nulumriel. That is one of your terms.
Yes, that was one of the options I gave you. Yes.
We'll do that.
Interesting. Your own mother.
Yes.
They did tell you I also offered up a child. You could give me the child of spring. Much easier.
Not an option.
Understood.
Why do you want the child of spring?
Well, she's a god. Obviously.
So you want to put her into your collection?
Oh, no, I was going to teach her a bunch of things and train her and befriend her and
No.
raise a daughter of
She
my
is
own.
not on the table.
All right. You asked the question. I was merely answering. So,
The book and body of Korax, the god of knowledge, for the head of Nulumriel.
great. And when can I expect this head?
What day is it? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I don't have a calendar here. Ridiculous question.
Well, it's not going to be an easy task, I hope you realize.
Well, if it were easy, I would have had it done already.
It might take a while.
That is true. And I assume you'll need your god friend to accomplish this task.
In some fashion, we'll need him.
You were told that I am just returning his body and mind, right?
Correct.
Any sort of soullessness is entirely out of my hands.
She nods.
Well, I will return the book. Well, I will return his mind to his body, and I will return the body containing its mind to the 3 of you, and in exchange, what?
And give us access to leave this place and return to the Afterworld.
Well, of course, how else would you kill the dragon? I thought that was sort of part of it. Anyway, I will do all of those things, and you will kill Nulumriel for me. And if you do not, no amount of dream dust will stop the nightmares that I send your way for the rest of your life, in the waking world and in dreams. Is that understood?
She nods. We will get her head as
Quickly.
soon as we can.
Perfect. Great. Well, on that, we can agree. And he reaches out to shake your hand.
She looks
Say
down at
let's
his
walk
hand.
over to join the conversation.
You can walk over at any time.
Right, say let's walks over and joins the conversation. Excuse me, sir. I would like to add that we'll need a way to contact you when the task is done so we could, be brought here to bring you the body.
Well, one, I would assume your friend here, who seems to be apt at navigating my domain, can find his way back here quite easily.
We do not like the way he chooses to navigate.
Well, in dreams, call out to me, and I will come to you.
And Terry's transfers the book from under her right arm under her left arm, and she will put her hand out to him.
He takes your hand and shakes it as the mark of a deal made. And Terry's, would you like a GM intrusion?
Sure.
Wow, that sounded so sad. It sounded so.
I knew as soon as I touched his hand, something was gonna happen. I just had a feeling.
Why did you feel that way?
I don't know.
Cool. So you'll get 1 XP, and you'll get 1 XP to give to an ally, a companion of yours. He takes your hand, shakes it. Immediately, you feel the lump of the book underneath your arm disappear. This is not the intrusion. You feel it disappear. There is a flash of light inside the case containing Korax, and anyone looking at the case notices that the glass facade disappears. And the Korax, in a strange pose, just sort of slackens. It's still standing, but it's just like you just pulled the battery and sort of like. He shakes your hand, and you see him look at you, and it's not in the same way he's ever looked at you before. Like before, you're just sort of casually around, and he's like looking at but he is examining you. There is some sort of like piercing gaze that you can see that he is like scouring you for information. And he pulls you closer.
She resists.
That's fine. Roll me might. Difficulty. Hold on.
10?
It's gonna be up there now that you say it. I forgot what level the King of Dreams is. Just give me 1 second. I didn't expect you to try to out-manhandle him.
It's like when Trump became president, everyone was shaking his hand, and then Trudeau fought back.
Yeah.
A handshake that passed over the world.
I'm here for that.
Why are we bringing up politics?
Difficulty 10. Difficulty 10.
Yeah. I know I probably can't beat that, but I'm gonna spend 2 effort because I can. Failed.
Okay. Yeah. So he like is shaking your hand, and he pulls you in closer. Not like, I don't know, not like creepy, but like he definitely pulls you in closer, and he's like looking at your face, and you can see like he's almost like looking for something.
Yeah. And she's like strains to kind of pull back, and she's like, what the fuck?
And he whispers in a voice that only you can hear. Do I know you?
She just stares at him. If she looks back at him the same way she does she get anything?
You do not.
She just small shake of her head, no. And she's looking at him with like confusion.
Are you one of mine?
What?
Are you one of mine? And he says that loud enough for Mina and Seydlitz to hear that.
No. And she tries to pull her hand away again.
What do you mean, one of yours?
This is none of your concern. And he like waves at you with his left hand, never letting go with his right hand.
Yeah, and she's constantly, there's like that constant pressure of her pulling back repeatedly.
It is my concern because she's my traveling companion.
He looks to you and he says, "This is none of your concern." And any level of joviality that the king had before is gone.
What are you doing? Let me go.
I asked you a question. Are you one of mine?
I don't know what that means. One of your what?
One of my brood.
No. And she's pulling still. Let me go.
Where are you? What are you? How did you escape? How did you escape the dragon?
I just left. I ran, okay? Haven't you seen it in your dream in this
What is your
god-awful
first
place?
memory?
Standing in the White Tower in Corso?
When?
I'm just a little girl. I don't know how old. I don't remember my family. They sold me to Nulumriel. She took me under her wing and she raised me.
He laughs, and again, all mirth is gone from that laugh. It is like a very dark, like back of the throat, like snicker. And he sort of releases your hand as you're like jerking it back. So there's that moment of like stumble. And he says, "Well, now that I've found one of you, I'll be keeping an eye on you."
I don't know what you're talking about.
You have a task to accomplish. Take your doll and see that it's done.
And she'll glance at Seydlitz. Let's get out of here. And then she will slowly start backing back. Let's
Everything
go.
turns for the worse. Thank you for your hospitality and majesty. We'll be off.
See to it that you don't take too long.
Yeah, she will walk, and then she'll turn and she will walk quickly towards Mina. And sorry, Mina, if you're okay with it, she like puts her hand on your shoulder and she like forces you like to turn around and like kind of gives you a push, like let's go. Like she's walking with you.
Yeah, Mina will. I assume someone's got to carry Corax, so Mina will grab Corax's body and carry it out with his mouth firmly shut.
Perfect. You collectively leave. You begin to head down the myriad of stairs, like the thousands of stairs down this castle. Whereas before it seemed like you started walking and the staircase like shortened. They do not seem to shorten. This is a mile of stairs that you are descending. Fortunately, down. You're headed down them. But you do have quite some time to travel. Probably like a good 15 minutes of casual walking down these stairs. You have no idea whether you can be heard or not here, but you are alone for all intents and purposes. Is there anything you guys do before you head into the forests of Nod?
I think she will walk. She's walking quickly. Like she's not helping carry Corax or anything like that. Is the book still there, or did the book disappeared?
The book disappeared.
Okay, so she's just like speed walking down the steps, going.
Okay, Mina, say
Why do I have a feeling everything's gonna go wrong? I mean, I get quite a lot of senses of foreboding, but this one... Ugh.
Yeah, to be honest, I felt like the negotiation didn't go well.
Didn't go well. What about that went well? Yes, we got our deal, but what? Making a deal. We're making a deal with basic. Honestly, if it were the Rakshasa Queen, it'd probably be saying deal with the devil, but it's not. So I don't know. Deal with a crazy madman.
I mean, the joke's on him. I don't think we've got any chance of getting the Lumbriel's head.
And then he'll slaughter us with nightmares, and according to that book that's now disappeared, Korak's soul will be stolen back to Solrest, and everything falls to ruin. And what is the Child of Spring gonna have to do with all this anyway? I know she's supposed to be the next queen of gods or whatever, apparently, from what everything seems to be sensing. But what can she do?
She stops and she turns around and she calls back up to them. It means she's still in danger.
We know that. And now she's in now we know exactly the sources. We've got 3 different people, major players after her. Honestly, I don't even trust the Queen of Samora when it comes, and the adherents when it comes to Aurora.
They're probably the safest out of everybody. If we had to choose someone. And she like stops walking and she waits for them to catch up.
Honestly, I wonder if the bottom of the depths holds the key to us all. Maybe at the bottom there's something that destroys all divinity altogether. Maybe the world might be better off without gods and magic and all this power. All it seems to do is create tyrants.
Well, the tyrants were created when they left, so she looks at Mina. You want me to take over for a little while? And she's indicating Korax's body.
No, he doesn't weigh a lot. All the crap in his cloak does.
Just be careful you don't break any bones.
She comes back all fucked up.
Why is my arm backwards?
You would never live that down.
Body for one day.
You would never live that down. You come back, he's all shattered.
Mina, how do we get out of here?
We think about leaving, returning. That's how you kind of get around this place. You think about where you want to go.
Always say the gateway of dreams or whatever is what we should be looking for.
No, he just said we could go. I think that means we can just go.
As you approach the bottom of the staircase, Mina, what do you think about?
Mina thinks about when they get back to the Afterworld, how he is going to keep all this to himself. And he knows he is going to have to confide in Lexi. He won't be able to keep it from her. She's the only one he can trust.
Okay. You see Mina step off the final stair, holding Korax aloft, and disappears. And Terry's, when you hit the final stair, what do you think of?
And what does Mina say about how to get out of here?
He said you just have to think about leaving. And then he disappears.
Okay. Oh, shit. What does she think about? I want to. First thought is that she's thinking about her mother. But I don't know what will happen with that. Yeah. Well, I'll have to go with what she's honestly thinking about, and it's going to be she's thinking about her mother.
Okay. Seydlitz, as you hit the final stair, what are you thinking about?
King of Nod, you listening?
There's no response, but you know well enough that he is.
What would you do with Arua anyway? Make a new pantheon?
You hear, I would raise her as my own. And the king is standing next to you.
And what would you gain from such a thing?
A child. Why does it have to be more than that?
Does it have to be the child of spring?
It is the first child born with as great a power as she has. I know there are many more like you. None so great as the power she holds.
What is so special about her anyway, other than great power? What is the power of spring?
It's the power of rebirth. She has the power to change the afterworld.
And what would you do with it?
Set things right.
Like bring back the old gods?
No. The old gods are dead. And dead they shall stay.
Honestly, it makes me wonder if I want to wash my hands of all this.
You are what you are. And what you are is never going to be safe. No matter what you choose. You know that. I know that. But until a god of fate is reborn, your choices are your own.
Is there a choice that lets me strip my divinity away?
Not that
I
I'm
don't
aware
want
of.
it. Well, maybe the god of knowledge, when if he's anything more than a useless doll, might know. Well, goodbye, sir. Seydlitz thinks of his doorstep, of his home, and him just kind of sitting there on the doorstep, looking down, kind of sulking, as if he's sitting there smoking a cigarette,
Okay.
and steps off the next step.
Okay. The god, oh sorry, the king of Nod. The king of Nod is left standing in his staircase, bemusedly looking out at the position that all three of you were just in, thinking about what just happened. And he turns, and about 30 feet up the stairs are two massive green giants, and he begins to walk back towards them, and they begin to, in turn, walk back towards the castle. We see Seydlitz is slumped on a chair in front of his familial house. Hat tipped down over his eyes. A empty bottle just out of fingertip reach on the ground. Light snores passing from under the brim of his hat. We see Mina is on a hard wooden floor in the dark. A lamp turns on in the room. A fire starts. And a sharp jolt of pain strikes Mina in the ribs as the haft of a spear jams between your third and fourth rib as you see Wexy in her sleeping gown staring at you as you are curled up on the floor of her private quarters. And Terry's...
Oh.
What's the matter, G?
Lily, continue.
What's happening, G? What do you
Continue, Michael.
think is going on here? And Terry's, you see yourself in a white hall, in a white tower. The smell of tigers, a smell you have forgotten, a smell you have gotten used to. suffocates you. These two massive white tigers are sort of mewling and playing like cats would do. And you see striding down the corridor towards you is Nalemriel.
Shit.
Except you look out at her and she towers over you. And you feel cold iron manacles on both of your wrists.
Shit.
And as you look around, you realize that you're maybe 3 feet tall. You feel strong hands, fingertips digging into your shoulders as two people flank either side of you and hold you in place as she walks towards you. You see her pull something like a fan or something folded up. She places it under your chin and tips you forward, forcing you to look up at her. She kind of hits you to the side of the face, the other side of the face, as she's inspecting you as if you are property. She sort of waves a hand. The strong fingers let go of your shoulders. The manacles fall to the side. And she places a hand on top of your head and sort of combs your wild hair back. And then you feel it almost grab your hair, but more cup the back of your skull, and she forces you forward down the hall that she just walked. And she is sort of tossing you down the hallway as she stomps behind you. And as you are tossed forward down the hall, you roll out of bed and onto the floor and wake up with a sharp pain as you are on the floor of the inn on which you have stayed. You have a room there. Corax, you are flung out of time and space, or whatever it is, through the aether. You are tossed up out of soul rest in the brief moments between the time in which your body left the stairs or left the throne room of the Rakshasa Queen. You see soul rest, a macabre copy of the Afterworld. Areas look vaguely similar. You can see almost as if oh god, what the hell's that world? Almost as if like a geopolitical map has been literally hand drawn. You see there are big swaths of area cut and divided into the factions of Soul Rest. And you see large chunks of them are like eaten away. It appears as though the Soul Maw is unbound and uncontrolled here in Soul Rest. As you are flung into the purples and pinks and oranges and reds of the aether, and you sort of tumble formlessly through space and time, and you are hurtled back into the Afterworld itself, where you see the moon of Nod hung over the Nightlands, torn from its rightful position in the aether. Behind it, you see the moon of Dor, just sort of hidden back there, and you fling through the area, through the air, through however you're being transported back, and you see the moon of Nod moving down, 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 as if it was just recently torn from the aether and forced into its position over the Afterworld. Except it's not. It's still moving. It's still going. You see that the bottom, or what makes for the bottom perceptively, is alight in flame. The moon is crashing into the Nightlands. And then you awake. You are in your room. Or you are in the... Where were you? Where were you before you were rudely teleported?
He was in the Adherence Temple.
Great. You appear in the Adherence Temple. Your body seems worse for the wear. There are a few bumps and bruises. You were sort of manhandled, but you are slammed into your body. For a second, you can see your crumpled form just sort of lying in the Adherence Temple as you are forced into this. You have the knowledge of what happened before, right up until you died, and the knowledge of what happened while you were dead, but nothing that happened in the night in the realm of Nod since the moment you died. You have no idea how your body got back here. You have no idea where your friends are, and you are slammed into your body and forced awake. What do you do?
Korax gets up and he pads himself to make sure he has everything. And then he just books it. He bolts out of the front door, and he is going to the last place he saw Mina.
Technically, the last place you saw everyone was the inn, but you do know that Mina was turning in for the night. He did say he was turning in for the night, and you know that he sleeps at the Wexijun Caravan Guard headquarters.
He's going there.
Okay. You tear through the streets. Your bones ache, your muscles hurt. It's as if, despite only being dead for what might be minutes, it seems as though your body has atrophied. Not that you were super physically fit to begin with, but it's all the worse as you run, muscles screaming through the streets. You arrive, panting, at the headquarters. None of the lanterns are lit inside. No one greets you at the door. It is not locked. It's a barracks full of guards with spears. They're fine.
He literally just bursts in and just shouts, "Mina!"
Mina, you are jabbed awake with a stick. You see the disapproving look of Wexy standing in her nightie, holding a spear, and the words, "What the fuck?" Spread across her face, and as soon as you go to respond, you hear, "Mina!" coming from the front area of this place.
Mina looks up at Wexy and kind of goes, I think things got a lot more complicated. But on the plus side, Korax isn't dead anymore. And he moves off towards the shouting Korax.
She just looks at you confused, as if any of what you just said meant literally anything to her. And she goes to form words in her half asleep, half confused state, as you sort of scramble to your feet and make your way towards the front door, where you see a wild-eyed Korax.
Mina, what did you do? What?
Quick, come inside. And Mina looks over at Wexy and went, "Oh, hang on, stay there. Come inside, but don't look."
You're muted, Mike.
I own. What's happening?
We just came back from Nod. Korax died. The king of Nod put his body in a glass case. There was a book called about Korax, and we negotiated to get his body back, and he was negotiating other stuff.
What? You what?
We were with the king of Nod, and Korax died, went into a glass case. Then there was a book, and then Terry's was reading it, and we saw that
crap.
Korax wasn't necessarily dead, but we needed to get his body back, so we negotiated to get it back and get returned. And Korax is alive again.
During this time, Korax has walked up to Mina. I'm assuming he's still standing in Wexy's doorway.
Yep.
So everything of my deal was read by Antares.
I don't know when she started reading, but she showed us the important part.
Yes. That's not good.
On the plus side, we negotiated to get your body and mind back.
I appreciate
Otherwise, you would
that.
just be a soul floating around.
Good, you're learning.
That was her idea.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can't just make dead people, Mina. There's processes, but Okay, so everyone else made it out and didn't do anything stupid in Nod.
Well, I left first with your body. I'm guessing they made it out. I don't
Okay.
know why I ended up in Wexy's room. That's kind of weird.
I also don't know why you're in my room. You're lucky I stabbed you with the blunt end.
You can stab him with the sharp end next time.
Don't stab me, please. Should we check on the others? And let Wexy get back to her beauty sleep? I mean, getting rest?
I'm up now. Let me get dressed.
Sure, let's go check on the others. Do you want us to
Mina, go. I will
leave?
find you.
Okay.
Get out.
Yep. And Mina just pushes Korax out the
The
door.
door closes behind you. You hear like a
Why were you in Wexy?
You want us to watch, or should we go?
You need help putting your armor on? What can I help?
Need help with that buckle, the bag.
Those sandals look like a bitch to tie. Let me help. Like, what do you? Fucking gross.
I ended up where I went to sleep. You know, good on you. And he pats him on the back.
I was in the barracks. I guess I got
Mhm.
close. We should go.
Where do the two of you go first?
Probably whatever's closer. I assume it's Seydlitz's.
I'd imagine it's Seydlitz because we know exactly where Seydlitz would be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you quickly hurry across town, across the city, through the city's cobblestone streets, and you see Seydlitz snoozing outside of his house on what makes for the front porch. Essentially, is you think old man in a rocking chair, cowboy hat tipped down, snoring away.
You wake him in case he hits you.
Right.
'Cause you
Mina
deserve it.
Mina rushes up and just shakes him awake. Seydlitz, are you in there?
Go away.
Korax is back.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
I expected a much better reaction from you.
Didn't miss me then?
Didn't miss you, huh? I'm sitting here contemplating about the effect of what we have to do to bring your butt back.
Yeah, I make some deals.
Yes, we know.
I was hoping you wouldn't.
Too bad. We all know.
And Terry's made a deal as well, so we should find her too.
Not just in Deities, we made a deal. You,
Deal.
you,
I don't
Mina,
remember shaking on
me,
it. She
and
did.
Terry's. It doesn't matter if you didn't shake on it.
Kind of does.
Seydlitz reaches down for that empty bottle, seeing if there's anything in it.
There's a mouthful.
He just throws it back.
Do we know where Terry's was staying?
You know that she's at the inn that you had met
Mm.
Wexy at.
We should make sure Terry's got back. It kind of got weird between her and the King of Nod there for a while.
You go do that. I'm gonna get up and go to my actual bed.
Good that you're still alive.
Let's go.
Are we
And
truly
Mina-
alive with these targets on our heads? Eddie the Nimbus just blinks up and then disappears.
Are there more targets than there were before?
I think it's just one target, just different people aiming at it.
How many different people? I can't count them on one hand anymore.
Let's
You can use
find
two.
in Terry's. Make sure she got back.
Mhm.
And Mina just turns on his heel and starts jogging towards the inn.
Don't run. Korax is as they slowly jog. Correct. What deal?
The
did you make
Seydlitz
with
knows where
Elanehtar?
Antares is, like, exactly.
Yeah, you would know that she's like. I assume you guys. Well, yeah, you especially would know because you guys came back together from the Krakens. She's at a tavern. The tavern you all just met at like a few hours ago.
Mina, correct. She's over at that tavern you all were at earlier.
All right, let's go or not go. Yes, and Mina runs.
Korax starts to run and then just walks.
I
Not enough running.
I get it.
hope we never run back into Telbin again. And
You will.
Seydlitz knocks on his door.
Yeah, you knock on your door. There's like a shuffle that comes from inside, some moans and groans. And your brother-in-law opens the door and he looks to you confused. Don't you have a key?
Sorry, I misplaced it.
Come in.
All right. Thanks, Fernand. I'm just gonna go straight to my room.
Okay. The door closes behind you, and the camera follows Korax and Mina as they jog and walk fast across town, towards the inn that Antares is staying at. The bottom floor of the inn is still a tavern, although almost no one's there. The door is not locked, and you guys are able to access it and head in. You guys know roughly where Antares is staying, or can figure it out, or just bang on everyone's door. I don't care.
Yeah, Mina. If Mina has an idea of where she is, he'll just go up and just kind of bash on the door.
I'll help. She's sitting at the bar.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah, you see her slumped over the bar. I assume drinking. Antares.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bottle next to her and a small shot glass next to her.
Yeah, and Mina bursts in and goes, "Oh, good, Korax is back."
Great. And she pours a shot and then drinks from the bottle.
I
then-
really thought everyone would be more excited by that.
This is my excited face. Here,
Hey.
and she taps the shot. And she'll turn. I'm assuming is the pub closed?
Yeah, it's like the middle of the
Okay.
night.
Yeah, so it's like dark
Yeah.
inside. Yeah, so she'll put the shot out and give it to Mina. Drinky.
Mina will take a quick drink of it, and look at and say, "Korax was right behind me."
She will get up.
Moments go by, and slowly panting up the way is Korax.
She looks
Don't
them up and down.
Need to run, Mina.
You're in one piece then?
Yeah, but it's really sore. I don't know what you lot did to me, but other than that, I'm all good.
He carried you down the steps of the castle
Well,
over his
next time,
shoulder.
like a baby, Mina. Not on the shoulder, because that shoulder digs in
Well,
like a baby
get
next
rid
time.
of some of the stuff in your cloak. All that stuff
No.
is heavy and
Wait.
pokey and really uncomfortable.
Korax walks up to the bar, and Korax, when his body was put into the glass tube, everything that was on him, right?
That
He
is
had all his
correct.
books. One of the things that Korax had on him when he died was the book on how to get in and out of Nod.
Technically,
Did that book not come with him? A
for
book that he couldn't even read.
Yeah, for a number of reasons, no, it did not come with you. One, because when you take things out of the land of dreams, they tend to not come with you. They are dreams, after all. And two, when your mind escaped your body and became a book, all books returned to their appropriate shelves. Unfortunately, that book did not come with you.
Korax walks up to the bar then and just starts pulling out books.
Mhm.
And there's a stack of books. And he's like, damn. I was really hoping I'd still have the one that I was trying to read. Well, I can't get us in and out of Nod, but the rest of these are important. He pulls one off the pile and goes, what happens if you get stuck in this area and you need to know what to eat? This one tells you all about the local delicacies. What animals you can and can't eat, what plants you can or can't eat without dying. See? Dying's inconvenient,
So
you know.
the King of Nod, huh?
Mm-hmm. What deal did you make? You know my deal. Apparently you read my books.
Unintentionally. Well, we have to bring him the head of the dragon.
He wanted a Rua, but we didn't want to do that.
So did the Rakshasa Queen. She wanted to raise the child.
Oh, so did he, apparently.
Well, quickest way to get the power of a god is to control one, right? But at the same time, she believes he is a god.
But wouldn't you know that, since you knew about those other gods?
I knew about new gods coming into being, but she believes he's a god from before. If we can get hold of Nalumbriel's book, it might tell us how many gods are alive, maybe.
Maybe we can do that when we're chopping a head off.
Sure.
Is this something that you want to do, Antares? I do. But
I mean, sure. I mean,
doesn't
and she takes another swig of the bottle.
Corax leans
doesn't
over and grabs a glass, puts it next to her.
And she fills
it,
to the brim. None of this 2-finger bullshit. She fills it right to the top.
So that'll put hair on your chest. And some,
Yeah.
a
This will
rocks
put some
glass.
real weight on you.
She fills a Tom Collins glass to the top.
doesn't killing Nalumbriel and then killing the King of Nod kind of seem impossible?
Well, I'm not going to lie, but Nalumbriel should be easier. She's not a god.
It's not going to happen the way we are now. That's for sure.
Not unless you two sorted your shit out.
No.
Damn it.
I mean, you're a god, and no offense, it doesn't seem to have made you that much more powerful. You died in a library.
Savage.
He's got a point there, Corax.
Wasn't my library. But
He didn't seem too concerned that you were a god. But if he is also a god, then I guess that's why.
But with 3 gods that can stab things.
Or where's Seydlitz?
No. Seydlitz is one of the people that can stab things.
Oh, okay. You're not counting yourself.
I don't stab things.
Okay.
And he pulls one of the books off the pile and he places it down. That does help. And it is the Bibliomancer book that he took all the way back in episode 1. This does help with making things less alive. See, Mina, sometimes you need to keep things.
I keep most things. Like, I'm really good at keeping secrets. I didn't tell the King of Nod that you were trying to kill him.
Well,
Congratulations, Mina. Yes, you did a very good job of keeping your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
can you not send us back there with that warning?
I mean, technically, you probably go there every night.
Yes, but not there in my physical being that dies when I go there.
Well,
Dying
I
was very
promise-
inconveniencing.
I promise not to send you there in your physical being so that you can die again.
I appreciate it. Or if you're going to, just let us know.
And
Say, hey guys, I'm going to do something stupid.
If you feel threatened by any libraries, let us know. We'll protect you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll burn it down if we have to.
Well,
The library or not?
The library that's
Okay,
threatening
just to
Korak.
clarify. just wondering.
Mike, I want to confirm I'm remembering something correctly here.
Yes.
When the Rakshasa queen was speaking to Korax about the deal and about killing the king of Nod, she said that when the king of Nod is killed, that Nod will go back to where it belongs. Is that correct?
In a roundabout
Possibly.
way, she said that when basically when the king of Nod is killed, his divinity must go somewhere. She'll take some of it. You and your friends are welcome to some of it, and together you can put Nod back where it belongs in the Aether.
Okay. So, if we manage to kill him, it is possible to put Nod back where it was. So there's some advantages there. And in theory, as long as we can control how much of his power goes where, things could get easier for all of us. She will take some.
And what about
But-
that other little side clause you put in there?
I don't know about that. That was to try and make life easier for me, but it didn't help.
Yeah, so now you owe her more souls?
Well, they got to go somewhere. They're gonna go to Soul Rest. There are a number of the Lords of Hell, but she's only one of them. They all suck.
So the head of Nod, or the head of the king of Nod, the head of the dragon. So Seydlitz did have a good point. Technically, if we take out the king of Nod, then that takes out, that nullifies his contract, in theory. And she kind of like, as she's like leaning against the bar, she like runs her hand over her hair and she's like, she stops and she's like, she puts her hand over the spot where in her dream Nalumriel had put her hand and pushed her. And she kind of just like zones out for a second.
Our
I think we
options
should
suck.
I think we should focus on protecting Samora in the short term.
That was part of my deal. Is that I don't have to do anything until this war is done. Do you have a time frame from Mina's friend?
As soon as we can. Which is
What
just vague enough for my liking.
are the chances that Mother will be coming with the armies?
Not very high. Unless something very unforeseen happens. But if it's going to threaten her, then it's less likely to. Then she's less likely to come, and she'll stay where she's protected.
I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Would
In
killing
theory.
would killing your siblings be enough to bring her here?
I don't know. It might.
I mean, this isn't great for your family. But then
No.
they do suck.
Most of the time. And she looks
And
at
Mina
Korax.
will raise his glass to Antares and to family.
She will take the bottle and like his thing. And she looks to Korax like she wants to say something. Do you know what do you know about the King of Nod personally? Being like an old, not you personally, but him personally.
Mike, what information would Korax have from old studies of gods or anything that he would have gleaned from the libraries of Samora?
Ooh.
Does he have sometimes gods have partners? Does he have children? Any possible things that can, and she kind of pauses, that might get in the way of our mission.
Okay. Roll me an intelligence difficulty 10, Korax.
Cool.
Don't worry, I won't trap you in a book.
So difficulty 10. This is knowledge of godly beings is going to help out with that. So that takes it down to a 9. And then I have 3 divine shifts. Let's pick it down to a 6. And 2 effort to roll. Please work.
Nice.
Okay.
Success.
Cool. So with your studies throughout the years of various things, how you were raised, your recent studies, little is known about the King of Nod. Beyond the obvious. He somehow lords over Nod. No one really recalls when he was installed as a king. It was only after the fall that people became aware of this King of Dreams. He seems to have control, at least in some aspect. He doesn't have like complete omniscient, omnipresent control over the moon itself, or everything that happens on there. He does seem to have like general control over things, and can manipulate things to his will, within certain level of power, right? So at a minimum, he must be an incredibly strong bibliomancer or magic user of some capacity, right? There are various causes that pledge themselves to his loyalty. You do know that the Guild of Sleep, from what you understand, is you roll an 18. That's very good. You've learned that the Guild of Sleep is actively working to undermine the King of Nod. To what end, you have no idea. Why, you have no idea. You just know that the Guild of Sleep, operating out of Corso, are constantly working to undermine, and rumor has it that one of their members has been asleep since before the fall. You know that they actively sleep for days, weeks, months at a time, and at least one of their members is rumored to have been asleep since before the fall. You know that Nalumriel has taken some on-again, off-again issue with the King of Nod. Off again because his presence is what sort of plunged the Nightlands into disarray. You also know that it is rumored, and held as a belief, especially among the adherents, that Nalumriel at one point had been banished by the gods to the Aether, and that their fall is what allowed her re-entry to the Afterworld. In the realm of gods, the only person that comes to mind that could be both powerful enough to survive the fall and hide as well as he has been able to hide, would be Raphius, the god of sleep. So you think that if the King of Nod is in fact a god from before the fall, he could be Raphius, the king of sleep, or Raphius, the god of sleep, rather.
And does this?
That was a lot of information. Corax is just going to regurgitate the whole lot.
Yep.
And she's gonna hold up her hand. So does this Raphius god? Does he have godlings under him? Like, does he have? And she kind of she kind of winces because I think that's the same kind of it's the same word that Nalemriel may have used. She says, does he have like a brood of some sort?
He just shrugs. It's not impossible.
Yeah. I mean,
They
you
were
know,
gods.
given the 99 gods, right? Given most pantheons in historical relevance, pantheon of gods be horny. They be making baby gods all the time. They be making demigods all the time. So like, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Corax just shrugs and he goes, the gods did walk, some of them, amongst those of us here in what was before the Afterworld. It's possible.
Maybe this Guild of Sleep can help us.
I'm a bit concerned about their member that has been asleep since all of this shit happened.
I mean, the King of Nod seemed to think they were working with Nalemriel. Do you know where the Elanehtar is?
No,
And Teres, you know that
maybe.
the Guild of Sleep is privy to the Indulgence fast track, let's say. She may not be helping them directly, but like they're lobbyists for the dragon, right? So like if they need something, the chances are they can get it quicker than probably quicker than the what the hell is it? Salazar, the massive slave company. Chances are the Guild of Sleep can get it faster than them.
I don't know any of them really personally. I never really interacted with them, but they have what you might call an uneasy alliance. The queen or Nalemriel won't usually hesitate to give them what they need.
Do any of them operate outside of Corso?
I mean,
I'm sure they do.
you know, is your mother not one of them? With all her, I got a nod for fun. Like,
no, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know.
can you ask her?
If I can track her down, sure.
The last time she was in Dawn's Fall, right?
That's the last time I saw her. She and my dad travel around a lot.
I will send word to my family and see if she's still there.
Probably good to check that they're all still alive.
And they're boring farmers.
Maybe you can find out if anything happened to Rhea after I left.
Oh yeah, true. You left the terror that is apparently Rhea in my home. Thanks for that.
I mean, I didn't know it was your home at the time.
Well,
Maybe
what it is.
she looks at Corax and tops off his drink however much he's doing. Maybe if this Telbin is back in town, you can track him down.
I mean, he sells things in a market in a cart.
And she looks at Mina, and you said you helped fix his cart? Maybe you guys could
Yeah,
find
it
him
was
and talk to
stuck
him.
in a pothole, but I mean, if
Let's also run into him.
Corex said he kind of trades in what you need, so if we need to speak to him, will he not show up?
He'll be there in the morning, selling his
Let's
shit.
go try and find him and ask him about Rhea. And
Well, I know where I left him. We can check there in the morning.
yeah, maybe he'll be able to give us some answers. And she pauses and she takes a big swig from the bottle. So the King of Nod said something to me after I made our deal.
It
I
did
don't-
look tense there for a while.
Yeah. I guess I shook his hand, and he didn't notice before until I shook his hand. He apparently knows me or thinks he knows me, and he asked about where I came from and how I came to Nulumriel, and he thinks I'm one of his brood. It's the word he used.
Korax slams back his drink, takes the bottle, fills his drink up, and throws back again. Well, shit.
I don't know what that means, but what he said, not what you just said.
Do you not have any memories, maybe, of him from the Needle of Inquiry?
No. The needle brought up the first memory I have is standing in front of Nulumriel as a child. My hands are in chains, and she's inspecting me like a piece of meat. That's the first thing that the needle showed me. Nothing before that. When I say I don't remember my family, I'm not being facetious in any way.
I mean, it showed me everything. I mean, except for the first time I met the King of Nod.
Things in Nod weren't shown, which could mean that Antares was in Nod beforehand.
What does that mean, though? You're the god of knowledge. What does it mean?
It means that if we complete both contracts, you would have killed both your mother and your father.
She leans on the desk or on the counter.
Korax leans over and just grabs another bottle and puts it in front of her. You don't have to do one of those. You have made a deal for one, though. The second is my deal.
Well, we're all in this together, aren't we?
All in this
Apparently.
together.
But at the same time, how did you end up out of his care and into hers?
I don't know.
He might not be innocent in all of this.
Sorry, what'd you say?
He might not be innocent in all of this.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can ask her before I take her head off. And she will take the bottle out of Korax's hand and drink.
It's literally in front of
Okay.
Terry's.
She'll take it and she will drink from it. And then she will refill Mina's shot glass. His little shot glass.
On that note, that's a fun little corruption bar. Korax, make me a difficulty 10 intelligence.
Oh, Jesus, another one.
Fuck.
What can help me in this, Mike?
Ooh, let me see. Let me take a look at this little character sheet here, buddy. Definitely not divine bullshit.
Eager to learn?
Nope. Intelligence defense could help you.
Oh, fantastic. I'll take that.
So roll me a difficulty 10 intelligence defense task.
Is it to do with knowledge, science, or crafting tasks?
Yes.
Fantastic. So that will reduce it by another 3. It was 10. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use more effort because Korax is going to pass out soon. Oh, jeez.
Outstanding. I will remind you, you do have XP to spend.
Yes, I would like to spend XP on that, Mike.
Okay, you may spend XP.
We'll drop that to
Reroll
2.
that roll.
So it was intelligence defense, difficulty 7. 2 effort to roll. Success.
Great.
With a 19.
Great. Korax, a feeling you know all too well as you have recently experienced it. The feeling of the point of a quill carving in new letters into your mind pierces through your skull. Whatever your hand was doing holding a shot glass immediately drops that. The liquor spills across the floor, across the bar. The glass rolls and shatters on the ground. And you clutch your head as agonizing pain takes over your mind. The words are, the first of the lost was identified, and the king renewed his hunt. The prophecy of liberation has been updated. And you know that all the books across the land, the books of fate, bear this writing.
I think in this, Korax also falls off the stool. Hits the ground as this happens. He stands up.
She would put out her arm to catch him if that's okay with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once he's up, he walks over to his pile of books and he pulls out the Book of Fate and he flips it open to the Prophecy of Liberation and he pushes it in front of Antares, where the words would be penned. I don't like new knowledge yet.
And she reads the words. Shit. Yeah, that's all she says, and she just stares at the book.
And that is where we end this episode of The Rise of Royal Bounty. So
A royal
booty.
a royal bounty if you're
A
if
royal
you're Canadian.
pain in the butt.
Yeah, a royal pain in the booty. So if you guys like what we do on the channel and you want to support us, the Patreon down below is where you can do that. Join us at the $5 tier, get access to the after show that we're about to do right after this. Like these fine folks here. Join us at the $10 tier. You get to see some of our prep streams where we prepped the death of Korax a few weeks ago. and other live streams that we do over there, including a new one coming sometime in 2023, where we do like a roundtable and answer some questions exclusive to the Patreon. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. But for now, let's go around, do our outros so we can get the hell out of here and do that after show. We'll start with the reanimated God of Knowledge. Chris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Chris, aka Necro. You can find me in the Patreon one-shots, and luckily, still in the Patreon campaign. Other than that, nowhere else but the Discord.
Hell yeah. Snow, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Normal Snow. You can find me in the one-shots and in the campaign, and occasionally in the Discord.
Hell yeah. Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Matt Ortiz. You can find me here in the Patreon campaign, the one-shots in Mike's Discord, and traveling around the United States.
Hell freaking yes. And our Canadian bounty, G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm G, the friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You'll find me in the Discord, on Twitter at lightningspaz09, and in all things Patreon.
Hell
And tomorrow.
yes.
And tomorrow.
That's true.
Oh,
and
yeah.
tomorrow in our
And
one shot over
tomorrow.
on Dot's channel.
At on Little Red Dot's channel with Mike and I, we're doing the Sunday Fun Day. We're doing some Tales from the Loop.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
I will say I am carrying one corruption bar forward. So there will be a corruption bar ready to go for the next episode. I'm adding it to my notes right now. Perfect.
Sweet.
So you'll have to deal with that consequence next time. And all of the strange things that we have learned in today's episode. But for now, we're going to get out of here. We're going to talk about those strange things. We're going to talk about some revelations. We're going to talk about how to get some new gods. So if you want access to that, Patreon link down below. But for now, that's it from all of us to you guys. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.